for the last 10 years, you see the same ministers. There's like 13 of the same ministers in the front bench. It feels a bit deja vu. Yeah. Saying the exact same things, except for some of the new things that they're saying, which they borrowed from the Conservative platform, which I invite them to borrow more and go all the way. You know, not these half measures that you're seeing with a GST cut that doesn't go far enough and only includes first-time home buyers, or a tax cut that is about half of the one that we promise, which isn't going to stand up when you have a $5,000 mortgage to pay. I say, if you're going to take our ideas, go all the way with them. But which brings me to the speech from the throne, which is an exact regurgitation of what you heard on a campaign, except for without detail. There's no detail. There's no meat on the bones of any of this. It's a lot of grand, lofty statements about what's going to happen and what we're going to do. I mean, this is coming from a prime minister who said a plan is better than no plan, and he was the man with a plan, and we don't see that right now. And I suspect that we're not going to see that because this government and the 13 ministers that were still there, with some of the new ones that now fill that second row, that's what they do. It's a government of lofty statements, and it's the exact reason that when you knock on doors, affordability, crime, immigration was the number one thing that people talked about in so many different regions. An immigration system which had a consensus in this country for a generation. But let me talk about what the throne speech didn't say, because I would be remiss to say it. I would be remiss if I didn't say it. I come from a community where people in the community are terrified of living in this country. It's not that they feel scared. They are actually in danger. Yes. This government has been absolutely silent on Jews in this country, the ones that were shot at, harassed, businesses being firebombed. Like, we've seen it. Lawless mobs in the streets screaming genocidal slogans at their fellow Canadians. And if you're in the faculty clubs of our universities, or frankly, if you're in the halls of this place or even close to it, or the Liberal Party, I actually didn't think it would be worse than the last foreign minister, but we have a new foreign minister that, whether she knows it or not, is parroting Hamas talking points. And that very same terrorist organization that is listed as a terrorist organization in this country has thanked this country for their position for a second time now. And if you are thanked for a second time by a terrorist organization, I think we all know that you're probably on the wrong side of history. So I don't know if you need to be... thanked for a third time to actually get it, but we've gone from free Palestine to full-blown extremism in this country, just as long as it targets Jews who look a bit too complicit for comfort. Forget nuance and forget humanity. If you squint hard enough, anyone with a Hebrew name or an Israeli cousin is now a war criminal in this country. That's what they've allowed to happen in our streets. And I would have liked to see something in the throne speech. And I know that there are many constituents in many different ridings, and maybe they don't make up the majority of the constituents in those ridings. But if anybody is scared to live in this country, to walk the streets, to wear a yarmulke, to wear a Star of David, to put a mezuzah on the door, if anybody is scared to walk into a synagogue, if anybody is scared to walk into a church because there is official Ottawa who said the church burnings are understandable and say nothing about the Hindu temples that are desecrated in this country, this is not a country. I hope the Prime Minister is successful, because we can't go on like this.